Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners. Best Cord Cutting TV, Before It's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Samtonieta Ingielapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Monzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Owners Reps Puerto Vallarta, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook Live on YouTube. We had some accidents yesterday broadcasting on YouTube. YouTube didn't seem to be cooperating. Friends that were watching on... No, did I say that properly? We had problems broadcasting on Facebook. Friends on YouTube told us that... Susan, you're ahead of the game. Friends watching on YouTube told us yesterday they had no problems. So while I appreciated some of your comments saying, well, Paco, your equipment is maligned, I think it was a Facebook glitch. Nevertheless, I'm keeping my eyes open to make sure that we have a nice and smooth broadcast today. I chuckled because Susan got ahead of the game saying, my restaurant favorito es Café de Olla. Let's play the restaurant game. And I appreciate this coming from Susan, but what is it about it that makes it your favorite? That is the question that I'm going to be asking you later on. What is your favorite restaurant in Puerto Vallarta and why? What makes it so special to you? So we will take a look at those comments later on. It would help a great deal if you had a capital letter Q at the beginning of them so that we can make sure we find them. Why am I asking you this? I'll tell you later on. Let's first dive into the news. And they're working fantastic. We start with something that we've been aware of for some time. Now, Municipal Treasurer Raul Rodrigo Perez, looking here like he could use some sleep, reported that starting this September, they will have, well, September's already started. Starting this month, the city has the authority to collect the tax from foreign tourists for the right of entry, as provided for in Article 80 bis of the Municipal Revenue Law. This was approved. He indicated that they will implement this tax gradually, increasing the rate gradually, but they will start with 2 modules where City Hall staff will provide information and collect the taxes. These modules will be at the airport and at the maritime terminal, in agreement, of course, with federal authorities and with administrative group that manages the airport, with whom there is already dialogue in progress, so that this is not an invasive or coercive issue. Remember, this is a voluntary tax. No tourist will be turned away if they choose not to volunteer with the payment of this tax, and that is what it is. Now, this is important news. Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum confirmed that she will be visiting the region this weekend as part of her tour, marking her first year as president and Supreme Commander of Mexico's Armed Forces. She will be in Mazatlan and Tepic on Saturday, and she will be in Guadalajara and Colima on Sunday. And believe it or not, that takes care of the first half of Coffee and Headlines today. We're gracefully switching over to the weather, which is not working today again. How fascinating. Well, we're going to try this a couple of times. Maybe our weather will... Oh, nice. Okay, I'm just going to tell you about the weather. I'm not going to show it because I still need to do that. May have more to do with me than with Facebook going down. But I can tell you that it is 28 degrees. Third one's a charm. No, no weather. Okay, no weather. Ah, there you go. So things are running very strange and slow. I'm not going to show you the weather because now I see I'm running with a delay. How bizarre everything is. Anyhow, the weather forecast for today, well, first of all, we have 28 degrees out there. Humidity is at 75%. The weather forecast for today tells us that we're going to have mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 64%, a high of 30, and a low of 26. Moving right along, tomorrow, Friday, rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 73%, a high of 30, and a low of 24. And then on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 76%, a high of 31, and a low of 24. Boom, 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 boom. Let us go back to our headlines and hope that I can show you those now. Bam. But no, we don't want Claudia Sheinbaum anymore. What we want is how strange. I don't want to show you Sheinbaum. I want to show you these other news. How bizarre. So now I'm halfway through my broadcast and I cannot show you the things I wish to show you. Let me see. I'm going to turn off my news screens and then bring them back and pretend that nothing happened. Let's see how it goes. As Linda Richmond from Coffee Talk used to say, talk amongst yourselves while we give this a go. And let's see. Da, 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 da. Let me push that button and let me push this button and let me push this button and oh my goodness. Well, the second half of my broadcast is sabotaged. The good news is that what I wanted to show you can wait. So we are going to go directly into our chit chat section. Time to troubleshoot the equipment again. Let's go into our chit chat section and take a look at some of your comments. Let's see what we have. I see good mornings as always. Thank you very much. Susan, why am I asking you about restaurants? First of all, because I'm always curious to hear your opinion. Secondly, because I have had excellent experiences with a couple of restaurants that I visited recently that I hadn't been to before. So I'm looking for inspiration from you. And of course, I'll be happy to share some of my favorite restaurants, although I do that quite frequently. But Susan has already mentioned Café de Olla. I think Café de Olla is a great restaurant. I think Café de Olla's most unfortunate, and this is my personal opinion, most unfortunate quality is the location because Café de Olla is an authentically wonderful Mexican restaurant located in the middle of a very touristy section. So one could easily think that Café de Olla is just like a tourist trap, and it isn't. Café de Olla is a great restaurant. Thank you very much for that recommendation, Susan. It is much appreciated. Let's see what else we have. Well, I appreciate that feeling, thought, or that sentiment. Glad that everything is running smoothly today. Clearly, I need to do some deep troubleshooting. Sean says that he likes Casita and Garden because they have great food and entertainment. Good to know. Thank you. Oh, yes, Laura. My favorite is El Tío Toño, best birria. Tuna azul is also delicious. I love El Tío Toño. Tuna azul, I don't think I've been to Tuna azul yet. Mary Romaine asks, how much is the tourist tax? I don't remember, but I think it was something like 20, 25 pesos. I think it was like $1. I could be wrong, but once this actually becomes a reality, I am sure that we will be hearing more about this. But it is not a significant amount of money. Um, Government tip jar? Well, why not? It's been done elsewhere in Mexico and it's been done successfully. We'll see how that flies. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. Paco, you have gone dark. Well, I don't mean to go dark, but maybe I should stay away from the sun. Susan has no problem with the new foreigner tax. Grew up in a tourist town, and I think it's fair. I appreciate the fact that our local government is finding ways or searching for ways to increase their revenue. Let's see what else. Chris has two favorites, La Piazzetta and La Tosca. They're both Italian restaurants. We don't know why they are your favorites. If you want to compliment your comment, Chris, I would look forward to your comments. Susan says, Café de Olla food is always dependably good. Check. Service is always friendly. Check. And yes, location would be perfect somewhere else. I actually think they would be very successful if they moved away from that. But I'm sure that the location doesn't hurt. How cheeky. Michael loves Bravos and Siam Cocina Thai. You know what, Michael? We have at least one thing in common, and I know we have more than one, because I happen to love Bravos and Cocina Thai. Siam is my favorite restaurant. Um, Chris, you have mentioned these tacos before, Big Moy Tacos. Thank you very much for the reminder. It's much appreciated. Um, let's see what else we have. And I am going to try my news headlines one more time before the show is over. But not yet. Let me first continue looking at your comments. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on just a second. I'm setting this up just in case it wishes to cooperate. But first, your comments. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, thank you very much for clarifying that, Clemmy. 25 pesos for the tourist tax. Let's see. Mary says too many good restaurants. Bravos for food and service. La Dolce Vita and Cuates y Cuetes for milkshakes and beach chairs. I love it. Oh, really? Logan says I've been to Tuna Azul because I've gone with him. Logan, there are so many restaurants. Please forgive me if I don't remember which one was Tuna Azul. Um, I must have liked it that much. Or maybe it's been a while. I can't remember. Jerome says, I love Tony's Please. I have not been to Tony's Please in forever. Sean mentions Rico Indian, which is absolutely wonderful. Frida's 4.0 is the best, has the best onion rings. Not bad. I love it. Well, the Beauforts are cheeky today. Tim says, I love before tax preparation. Well, I love the fact that you are one of our community partners. I love it. For a quiet, reasonable price, adobes on madero. That sounds familiar, but I can't place it on my mind right now. So I'm not going to touch it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push my news headlines, but it's not giving me the one that I want to show you. Okay, so there's definitely something strange going on in the system. There's something strange going on in the system. So I'm going to do some research. That's what I'm going to do. And while I am ahead of the game, I'm going to wrap this up and figure out what's going on with my computer, but not without thanking you for joining me again for another edition of Coffee and Headlines. I'll have a look at the gear, and hopefully we'll have some wonderful results tomorrow. Don't forget that this afternoon I'm doing Just for Laughs at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. If you're around and you want a good laugh, enjoying my collection, my curated collection of funny musical clips from vintage television, mostly United States, join me at the Joint today at 5 o'clock. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day.